Hey, what's up, everybody? Thank you for stopping by. Don't forget to like our YouTube page, 5 Minutes of Construction by ATX Stone. We're going to show you guys what we're going to be doing today. So we're going to be adding a concrete pad here. This is 5 feet wide, and then that's 14 feet. We're going to pour the concrete. We'll be showing a video on YouTube how to pour concrete, how to finish it, how to set up the forms, the whole detail. Do the concrete slab, and then next we'll be building a pergola. We'll show you a picture right now about how the pergola looks like. And then it'll all be cedar. It'll be staying the same color as the fence. Don't forget to like, follow, subscribe. Once you got the area dug out right here, we still got a little more. We're gonna dig right here, put a 2x4, get all our levels set. We'll show you how to do that right now with this level. This area is small, so we're just gonna use a 8-footer. Usually we use a laser level. This is what you need to be able to set the form. So once you got this area drawn out, you got your border just like this outlined so you can set your forms in there. Now what you're gonna need is you're gonna need a saw, a skill saw, any type of saw just to cut the boards, right? And then you're gonna need hammers to be able to stake in your stakes on the outside of the line. And then you're gonna need squares to make sure that you're square. The small square is not for making sure you're square right here. The small square is just to make sure that the cuts that you're making here are straight. That's the big square that'll be used for here. So for this corner right here, some people use a different techniques. There's several different techniques. We usually use that square. When we don't have that around, we use a different technique. We can show you guys in another video, another time. Don't forget to like and subscribe. So and then you just dig around with your digging tools. You got your hammers to set your stakes, and then you got your boards for the form. Now we're going to show you guys, once we get to the next step, how to set up the forms and how to do that part. But this is the main essentials of what you need to be able to get the job done. You need 2x4s, a level, a drill to drill in the stakes to the forms, and then some hammers to pound in the stakes, and then squares just to make sure you're squared, and then the level to make sure you're level and you're pitching the right direction and you're not pitching your concrete towards the house. So here we go. Welcome back to 5 Minutes of Construction by ATX Stone. So here we are. I'm going to show you how to square up your form and teach you how to stake it. So first thing we're going to do is you need a stake, right? This is a stake I made. Just cut some 2x4s, ripped them. What you want to do is let's make this one stationary, right? So it doesn't move. So when you move the board side to side, this doesn't move no more. This is going to be a pivot point. So that when you put the square right here, you don't have to worry about this fumbling with this stuff. You just set the stake in there, create pressure, and then go from there. So here we are. Make sure you got the board all the way up against there. You want that as tight as you can get it. Because at the end of the day, this edge right here is going to be the continuation off of this right here, off of this existing slab. So there we go. Got this bad boy staked in. It's temporarily, so don't worry about it too much. And now, if you got some like grass and stuff right here, like I did, tear it out the way so you can get the square, this nice flat edge up on this square, right? So then what we're gonna do is set it a little bit lower, because right here on this edge of the concrete, people usually hit it with the edging trowel, and it gets rounded. So that's not a very good reference point for your square. So you go down a little bit more. Now you can see that this well, you can't see from where you're at, but it's got a little bit of a spacing, so that means this board has to come in this way a little bit more. So that's what we're going to go ahead and do. Go ahead and move it in a little more. All right, right there. So right there, we're flat on both sides, and that's what you're looking for. If you have any wiggle room like this in the square, then what you need to do is you need to move the board, in or out until it's flat against this edge, and the concrete is flat up against its edge. Now let's just check it again. You double check all the time. You gotta double check everything. There's an old saying, they say measure twice, cut once. So same thing with this, double check and make sure everything's good to go. In this case, we're good to go. So we'll go ahead and stop there, and then we'll teach you guys how to set up the rest of the form. All right, so we got the level set on this one. Remember, good rule of thumb is 1/8 of an inch per foot for concrete. We usually do a little bit more depending on the application. So sometimes we do 1/4 of an inch. We do a lot of stone patios, paver patios, brick patios. So we usually just stick with 1/4 of an inch, and we've never had any issues with that. Now, what I mean is by 1/4 of an inch or 1/8 of an inch per foot, I didn't understand this at first. What it is for every foot you go out, you drop down 1/8 or 1/4 of an inch. So if you got, let's say, 5 feet, right? And we're doing 1/4 of an inch, so that would be 1.25 inches that you'd have to drop. So what you do is from over here, you can see we already got it. It's already dropping right where we need it to be. But then once you do get this board set, you get it level like that. And now if you look at the end over there, 1 inch of a drop right there, you can see now that's the board sloping down because the level was actually level with 0 grade. So that means that this has grade. Now we're just gonna do the same thing to the other side. Run a string line, set a stake, and do the same thing, repeat the process. And once we get this done, fill on the bottom with the other 2x4s, then we got our form set. All right, so continue following so we can teach you guys a little bit more about how to do the concrete pads the easy way. All right, so once you got the 90 set up, so you put the square on that side, square on that side, get those squared. You run a string from there to there. You use your level to make sure you're level, like I explained earlier in the video. And then, you know, in this case, we're going 5 feet out. So we just measure 5 feet out, put our string line, 5 feet out, put our string line, run our board across, we're good to go. So that's where we're at right now. Now we're gonna start securing the form. Now, this is very important so that way the form doesn't shift, doesn't move. So you want to make sure everything's nice and tight, nice and secure. So what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and pound this stake in here. You want to make sure it's flush up against the. So here we are. We got that stake set. We're ready to go. We're going to screw it in, set the rest of the stakes, and then the next step is removing the soil and putting it in the road base. So stay tuned for that. All right, so next, after we got everything squared, you can see we got the form boards touching on the outside. So if you look at the outside of the form, like right here, you see we added some dirt. And if you look on the inside, it's deeper than the outside. The reason for this is if there's erosion on this side, it takes a while to wash this away and you'll never see the bottom of the concrete right here. So road base. A lot of people like to use decomposed granite. It depends what part of the United States you're from, but this is road base. This is my favorite material we use for when we compact things, patios, concrete, whatever. This is the base of everything. The base, the foundation is everything all the time. Next step, once we got the form set, you can see this is by 14 right there. This is all squared away. The next step is we're tamping it, or some people may call pounding or compacting. So tamping, pounding, compacting, any of those terms. What we're doing is we're compacting it right there. What we're doing is making a solid foundation, making sure there's no problems. And now the next thing we're gonna start doing is, you can see right over here we got an orange dot. That's the center from there to there. What we're gonna start doing is we're gonna start measuring. So that's 18 inches, 18 inches, 18 inches, all the way there, and 18 inches right across there, and 18 inches all the way across there as well. So we're ready to go. One thing I forgot to mention is don't forget to wet the road base. The road base getting wet is very important. It helps in the compacting part of the compaction, believe it or not. So let's go ahead and get the road base wet and compacted. Bam! Don't forget to wet the road base. This compacts it, and then we're gonna go over it with the plate compactor. So this is important. Water hose and water. Wet that bad boy down. Let it compact. Let it get tight. We want that compact, compact, compact.
That's the foundation of the slab. So let's go ahead and start compacting.
We're gonna use this hammer drill. We're drilling only 4 inches into this slab here. So this much. You know, I got a tape measure right here. I can show you. That's 4 inches, right about what I showed you. About that much. So we're gonna go in here, add some epoxy, and then add the rebar in there. 18 all the way across. You're gonna need a concrete bit. We use 3/8 rebar, so we drill it out with a 1/2 inch bit, and that's what we're using here. Just a regular SDS, you know, drill bit. It's pretty good. You don't have to do this. This is something that's optional. The reason for us doing this is so that way the new slab, after we pour it several years from now, it doesn't want to shrink below this, sink below this other one. So that'll help keep it flush with each other. Be good to go, so for several years. All right, so once you get to the point where you compact it, you're getting ready to compact, you wet it down like I showed you in the previous and now what we're going to do is we're going to compact it. So you start along the edge and then you work your way around into the middle. It's like a circle. Clockwise, all the way around. Or counterclockwise. In this case, I'm going counterclockwise. So just do this. Compact it really tight. If you actually come, you can see the stones going down. Just come a little closer. Get in here. Get in here. Take yourself a look, mate. There we got some rocks, right, mate? They're gonna go down. Out of there. So it does work. It does compact. Next, to the rebar installation. Right, mate. All right, so the next step is putting in the rebar. You can see we already got behind me 1, 2, 3. The rebar is going that way. Now we're starting to put these ones in, coming this way. I've already placed these in the hole. I haven't placed the third one in the hole, so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna cut these. What you need is an angle grinder. We use this big one. This is our favorite one. I recommend you, if you're not familiar with power tools, start with the smaller one. All you need is a metal cutoff disc. So that's what we got on here, and then you just get to cutting. So check it out. Make sure you have safety glasses too, by the way. All right. And you don't want to cut the rebar all the way up against the form. I forgot to mention this. You want to stay at least 4 inches away from the form. So it's right about where I'm going to cut. There we go. So we're going to do this next one. Alright, so the next one we're going to do is, check it out. We already got the epoxy inside there, so all we're going to do is just slide this bad boy right in there. Bam! Now cut. So it's very easy. Very easy, nothing to it. The easy way of pouring concrete. Next section of the video is going to be us finishing up the rebar and tidying it up.